Welcome to another episode of the Breaking Into Tech Sales podcast. Today's episode is with one of my one on one clients, Jamie J. We're actually able to help her land a fully remote 70K tech sales role in just 46 days. Now, what's interesting about Jamie is she was actually trying to apply on her own for about 6 months. She got some interviews here and there, but she wasn't landing any offers. And so she actually came across my free school guide that shows you step by step how to go land these great jobs and started implementing some of that and saw a ton of success just by implementing the free stuff. But then as her and I got talking in the community, she realized she wanted to do this quickly and she was committed. And so we were actually able to help her do this in 46 days. So again, if you need help getting into tech sales and you're doing it on your own right now, like Jamie was, go to the second link down below. That's going to be the free guide that shows you literally step by step what you need to do to start landing interviews and potentially offers. And if you're someone who wants to do this, but you want to do it way quicker, then that first link below is going to be a link to meet with my team. And we'll figure out if you're a good fit for what I do or not. And if you're not, that's okay. We'll still set you up with some resources. But ideally, we're able to help you make this transition way quicker than you having to figure it out on your own. So enjoy this conversation. Jamie's amazing, and I'm really proud of her and how far she's come, how much she's grown, and excited for what her future holds. And she's going to share some insight with you into what life was like before joining Sword when she was applying on her own versus what life is like post Sword, where she was actually able to work with me one-on-one, and we were able to help her land a great job. So enjoy. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Breaking Into Tech Sales podcast. I'm so excited because I have Jamie J in the house,
Ding,
and
ding.
she is actually one of my clients. She landed a 70K fully remote tech sales role in just 46 days.
Absolutely.
And she's here to tell us all about her experience in Sword. So, Jamie, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate this.
100%. I know how excited we both are because you just found out the other day that you
Right.
were going to get this job. Really good company, good culture, all of that.
Yes.
Tell us what life was like before Sword. Like, what were you doing? It was a commission only role, right? Kind of part
Right.
time. Why wasn't that a good career for you?
Well, the position prior to Sword was, I believe it was just the beginning. It was commission only, so it gave me a nice foundation on what sales looks like. But it wasn't B2B. And
Mhm.
there were not any, I guess, mentorships and opportunities of growth there. And so I really wanted to kind of move out of that space and go into something, I call it the big leads. I was ready for the big leads. So once I tried to do it on my own, I was not getting the visibility. And,
Mm.
it was time to step it up and find some coaching.
Got it. Okay. And what seemed better about tech sales?
So tech sales, I do feel it will provide the necessary financial stability for me and my family.
Mhm.
Um, the opportunities of growth is there, the mentorship is there, the being able to collaborate and work under some of the best in sales is there. So there's growth, there's stability, there's mentorship, there's everything,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah. I almost feel like with commission only roles, you're choosing to invest in that company, hoping you're going to get a return out of the company because it's commission only.
Right.
But when you roll into tech sales and it's like a W-2 and there's base pay and
Right.
coaching and insurance and all that,
Yeah.
it's almost like the company's investing in you
Yeah.
and they're hoping they're going to get something out of that investment, which
Right.
is feels better.
It
Feels like you're
feels
more valued.
absolutely, yeah, I was getting ready to say that word, keyword, they're valued.
Mm.
They definitely put a lot of more emphasis in your learning and your, I guess, your work ethic there. They really want you to perform for the business, and
Yeah.
they're going to put a lot of emphasis on that.
Yeah.
I felt that with this company that I took for sure.
Yeah, because if you're in a commission only role, you're putting a bet on the company that you're gonna make a lot of money, but in a W-2, like, the company's putting a bet on you, saying, "If
Right.
we invest in Jamie, we'll
Exactly.
get a return." So, you said, you had tried to do it on your own for a little bit. Can you break that down for us? Like, you said you were lacking visibility
Right.
too. So what was that experience like applying alone?
So applying alone, lots of YouTube university knowledge, lots of, blogs and things of that sort, just taking little gems from different folks and trying to mash it together. So it wasn't as cohesive. And so it can be a little scattered, doing it on your own. So I did do that and I had some structure. I was landing some interviews, but never really landing offers. So, it was a couple of companies I was able to get further along in the interview cycle, but never got the offer. So I'm like, there's something missing here. I need more assistance. And that went on for about 5 to 6 months.
Mm.
So I did not feel like I was really winning in that department by myself. I needed some coaching, I needed some help.
Gotcha. Okay. And where did you discover Sword, and why ultimately did you pick to work with me? Because there's a bunch of boot camps out there.
Right. It
I'm
is.
some stranger on the internet. Like, that can be sketchy in general, right? People selling courses and stuff.
Right.
How did you find me, and why'd you end up working with Sword?
I went through a couple of interviews with other boot camp opportunities. And ultimately, I decided with you guys because you have the school app, and the school app was free, and everything there was enough information for me to even get better visibility. So I was doing it on my own, and then I joined your school app, which was free, and you had, you know, a wealth of information in there. I mean, I changed my resume up just by using the school app, and you had interview opportunities there. And then from the school app, there was your offer for one on one coaching there. And I kept seeing it and I kept seeing it. And I'm like, I need to do coaching there. I need to do coaching. And after not getting any offers, and I just took a chance. I took a chance and applied to the school and did the interview with you guys. And I felt more comfortable. I felt more valued. That's our key word there. I felt like there was care. There's something more than just, I felt not like just a number. Coming
Mm,
into the space with your coaching program, I felt like you
mm.
cared. You genuinely cared.
I'm glad to hear that
Yeah,
because I do, and
yeah,
that's what I wanna translate and get that message I wanna get across
right.
to my clients, so I'm glad you feel that way. Were you ever on the fence? Because it's a time investment, it's a financial investment, like, this is a scary decision for people, and a lot of people end up on the fence.
Right.
Were you on the fence at all, and what would you say to the person that is on the fence with joining Sword?
I think our first initial meetings, I just wanted to go ahead and plow through because there was so much that you had given for free. And it
Mm,
felt perfect. Like it felt in alignment, even though there was some timing financially. I needed to, give myself time to meet those standards. Um, I had no hesitation. I didn't hesitate. I literally pulled out savings and everything. I didn't hesitate. I wasn't on the fence. I was on the fence with others because I didn't feel like they were about pushing me forward into that the tech space from an authentic heart space. And
mm,
I think I mentioned to you that being around people that's centered in a heart guided space, that is what moves me more than anything.
yeah.
And so I didn't have any hesitations once we met for the very first time. I'm like, hey, let's go ahead and get in here. I will figure it out, even if I have to work nights or something of
Mhm.
that sort, but I'll figure it out because I felt like I was supposed to be with Sword.
Mm. And just 46 days later, we found out why. So,
46 days
um,
later, we find out why.
that's really cool. That's cool. So it sounds like you just kinda have to commit and plow. And,
Mhm.
every one of my clients, they are at that decision point where it's like, am I gonna go back to what I've been doing and hope I get a different outcome? Or am I gonna get very uncomfortable like even just look fear in the face
Right.
and move forward anyway.
Right.
And these are those like fork in the road decisions where it's like, I don't know. I mean, how long do you think you would have taken if you hadn't gone this route? A couple more months maybe till you landed on a roll?
I would have absolutely gone a couple of more months, before landing the role.
Mm,
Um, I'm someone that don't quit, so I would have just if I didn't have the finances, I would have just kept trying to figure it out. I
yeah.
may would have saved up money to enter into your program, and if I didn't have the resources at the time, I would have just saved and saved and saved. And I know, it's still there. And I still would have entered the program no matter how long it would have taken.
Mm,
Because that's just how much I believed, in our first exchanges, I believed in the program that much.
yeah.
Um, so,
You're
yeah,
relentless. You're a boy mom.
relentless.
You have to be.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. So working with me is obviously one-on-one, right? Can you give people a sense for like what that is like working one-on-one? Is there anything unique about my coaching style? Anything that was a highlight for you?
Um, I think you're so spiritual. So that the highlight is just prayer. Jack prays for
Mm,
you. I think he has the best prayer ever. Um, I love that about you. I love the
mm,
spirituality that is integrated within your mission work here. It's
mm,
more than just putting folks into tech sales. It's more mission driven and it's more purpose driven, and it taps into spirituality. It taps into the God centered focus, and you can't go wrong with that. There's so much substance and vision that goes into what God's word, what God says. And I think you live according to God's word and how he teaches in the Bible. And this might be outside of tech sales, but if it's integrated in it, you're bound to find the right people to connect with, and your path will be always lit. Your path will always find, you will always find joy. You will always be moving in a certain stable space. Like it's just healthy, you know.
mm,
So that
mm.
is what really stood out to me, how
Wow.
you integrate God's word into your practice, your work.
I am encouraged to hear that. That's my goal, right? Like
Mhm.
if a wise man builds his house on the rock, right? So God's word doesn't change. And even though we get rejected from jobs and
Right.
things aren't working out and we're frustrated with timing, God's word doesn't change. He says,
Mhm.
I have amazing plans for you,
Right.
right? Plans to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you hope in a future. And to be able to just connect on that level is massive because we know if God is for us, who can be against?
Exactly.
Makes it so
Exactly.
much easier.
It makes it so
So
much easier.
he's so good. He's a faithful father. That is true.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Outside of you landing this job, great company. I'm so excited for you. I think you're gonna love working with these people based on all the
Absolutely.
conversations we've had. Um, yeah, great job, fully remote, great pay. Outside of that, what are you most proud of growing in or accomplishing through this process?
Hmm. I'm most proud of not quitting. It's a tough market. This is a tough job market all the way
Yeah.
around, and it can be discouraging reading LinkedIn posts of folks sending hundreds, of not, hundreds of interviews, 500 applications, and they're just landing a job and it's a year later. That could be
Mm,
very discouraging. And staying prayerful and staying diligent. I give myself a pat on the back for not quitting, waking up every single day doing the same thing, following your checklist, um, and just saying, "Hey, it's going to work out. It's going to work. I'm going to get a bunch of no's here." And I wish I knew when the next yes is going to come, but I know it's going to come. And staying,
mm.
staying on the mission and staying on the goal. So not quitting. I'm very proud of myself for not quitting.
That's so good. So
Mhm.
good. And that's like the key to sales is
That's the
just that
key.
persistence.
100%.
I'm doing the right inputs. I know the output will come, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Amazing. Last question for you, and I'm
Mhm.
really curious to hear this answer. So I'm talking to Jamie that has come through Sword. Now you know how to apply to jobs the right way. Now you know how to kind of get more visibility. and I'm sure in any job search now you're gonna crush it, right?
Mhm.
But what advice would you give to Jamie pre-Sword? Like the Jamie who was applying for 6 months on her own with no luck. Is there anything specific you'd tell her that you learned in Sword that would help her?
Um, the technical side, I would say what I learned in Sword is that you're doing this, which this is just specific. You got to do the job to get the job. Period. And here are some of the things that you can do. You can call. You need to do direct cold calls to the hiring managers. You need to send the follow up emails. You need to do this. You need to do XYZ. Just those simple tips change, were game changers for me. So from what I was doing in the very beginning, though I was landing interviews, I ended up landing way more interviews by implementing some of the strategies and tips that you recommended for us to do while we were in the course. So I would tell the earlier Jamie, hey, you could be doing more. You're not doing as much as you possibly can, and here are the things that you need to do. So yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's really
Um,
good. And by the way, if you're listening and you're like, well, what does that even mean? Do the job to get the job. The guide, the free guide I have, it's actually linked below. That's where Jamie kind of first came in, right? You came into the school community and kind of started doing stuff in there.
right,
That'll kind of put people on the right path in terms of, oh, here's how I like find phone numbers and call managers. But I like what you're saying, Jamie, which is even then I could have done more, right?
right, right,
But it can also be very frustrating when you feel like you're doing a lot and you're not seeing the fruit at all.
right,
It's like, well, then why would more of this change anything? So the job market's hard, like you said, but I'm so proud of you for persevering. And I am so excited to watch you crush it at this company and grow. Sounds like there's a lot of growth opportunities here. And
yes.
I know you're going to be first in line because you don't give up.
I don't give up.
I
I
love it.
don't give
Well,
up.
any final words, anything encouraging you want to leave the audience with?
Sure. Don't quit. This is a tough market, but you are stronger that things are terrible. I live by that quote. And if you continue to do the job to get the job, then your work will be granted to you. You will successfully accomplish the goal of landing your first SDR, BDR role, especially if you use Jack's advice. So I appreciate Sword School for really shaping me and getting me giving me the tools that I needed to successfully land this position. So I appreciate you, Jack. I appreciate everything, the calls, the text, the slaps on the wrist. Hey, Jack is not going to hold back. He's going to tell you exactly what you need to hear. And he's going to be assertive about it, but he's also going to push you. So he's your cheerleader, he's your teammate, and he's here to help you succeed.
Well, thank you so much, Jamie. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.